Welcome to today's collective reading. When you encounter this reading, it is a synchronicity. These readings are timeless. There is something here for you that you've been led here to receive that is unique to you. With that being said, I'm going to just get right into the reading. And the first placement is centered around the element of earth. And earth is a very stable experience of an element. It's very stable, it's immovable, it's constant, it's solid, it's foundational. You can build upon it. And what is really coming through here is this dynamic that has been present within your life to some extent, be it, even something coming through from past life. You have been basically troubleshooting it. You've been observing it in silence, keeping your judgments, your reflections to yourself, or just very reserved, very discerning who you discuss this with. There are different paths that you could choose. And as you have moved through this, you have learned what does work, what doesn't work to get you closer to the goal that you desire most, to what you're manifesting, what you're passionate about, your physical reality experience being. Let's get some clarifiers out here. So the assertive energy, which is more the masculine archetype, that we all have these characteristics that we can give to, act upon, not stand in dominantly or give to dominantly. What you're experiencing with what you're giving your energy to is this concept of what didn't work, what had your, this is the Star card in the reverse, and then the Seven of Pentacles upright. So what this is telling me is this is something that is a second time coming, it's a second chance, it's a second time around. It could be a life you've built, a dream you've built. Maybe there's a couple of different aspects to it now than the first time that it came through. Take what resonates, leave the rest. But this is what did not work. He was very aware of that, very aware of that. So this has been a process of being very careful with your abundance. Say it's just, we'll use the metaphor of a crop. How much sun, is it placed where it's getting enough shade? What fertilizers are you using? Is it getting enough water? Are you weeding it often enough? Through this process, you have learned what works and what doesn't to help this harvest be as bountiful as possible. And it's to this point where it's watching now and deciding if it's time. Is it time? Is it, if I move too soon, there's the awareness of what could happen. If you move at just the right time, you're aware of what could happen. If you wait too long, you're aware of what could happen. So there's an anxiety present here. But there's definitely a sense that you are waiting for a signal, a sign, a synchronicity that lets you know. It's like your mantra in this space that of watching. You're not willing to move until then, because until then you know it's not ready. You know it's not time. It's not the divine timing for you to act towards this and harvest this crop. In the image here, it's literally pentacles on a bush, like they're apples or berries or something. In the receptive energy, there's been this ever ascending awareness of higher and higher vibration, to the point that you've actually gotten to a state of being beyond a lot of the energy that could or was trying very hard to keep you from celebrating that ascension. You've ascended to a point where you see through it immediately, and it doesn't get to take root. It doesn't get traction because it can't. And as you are displaying this, it becomes even harder and harder and harder for it to even affect you, impact you, to basically narrate your experience to you. It doesn't have that power anymore. You've seen its true state, which is it has no power if you give it none. And this information with the we have the Hierophant and then the Ace of Swords. This truth is truth that is something that is not just at the surface within you, within your psyche, within your awareness. This truth goes throughout every aspect of your subconscious. Your ego, your inner child, your consciousness, your higher self. That divine spark, that unique divine spark that only you have. All of it is aware of this. When you have all of you in union within the self, owning this truth, there is a signal that is sent out because you're quantumly entangled, if you will, with others in your soul family, your soul tribe. Individuals that you have soul contracts with that you haven't encountered yet, but because you are here, you're one step closer to being able to co-create with them in the physical experience. And as you unlock this, as you become aware of this and own it completely throughout all of yourself, that allows others that you are in that kind of a dynamic, that quantum entanglement, to unlock that within themselves as well. It brings them that much closer as well. So this signal that you're sending out, it's very possible that this is the signal that you've been waiting to act towards, or an energy dynamic present within the situation has been waiting to act towards. This could be that signal that it's time. And all of this has been through trial and error and awareness of what didn't work, what does work. Hard work, very hard work to go within, to elevate in spite of all of this heaviness that was trying to keep you from celebrating that you have arrived. You are the narrator for your story. No one else speaks your truth to you, your experience to you. They're not you. They don't get to speak for you. From the higher perspective coming down, looking over this particular aspect, the guidance that is really being drawn very central is absolutely beautiful energy. Your higher self is exuberantly celebrating this situation. There is the Six of Wands, which echoes and confirms the concept of this is a second time coming, because what others thought was dead, gone, no more, dead end, no longer present. It's very muchly present, very, very muchly present. This is not a subtle energy. This is like charging in. How do I want to explain this? If you have ever known someone experienced this kind of an energy yourself or witnessed it in another experiencing it. A soldier who has been gone at war and they're home for their 2 weeks, or they're home finally, and that happiness, that joy of wanting to be there to receive them when they come off the plane, and just that running to greet one another because they're there, they're okay. And you do not want them to ever feel as though they don't matter. They matter. You want them there. You don't want them to ever question that. You want them to know they're loved. That energy is present, and that energy is a selfless love. It really is. Like, I get more time with you. You know, that gratitude, right? That is what's galvanizing this. What's behind it, driving it. And where this goes from here is, you know, maybe it's the end of the battle. Maybe you get to enjoy, you know, the ending of this particular struggle. And it just gets to be sunshine and happiness and all of that. But it can also be that now that you have this union within self, there's not a single part of you that is separate or divorced, if you will, from the other aspects. You're working together fully within self. If there is another energy within this present, in this situation for you, then they're more than likely mirroring you, and you will have your battles that you overcome together that are now going to be a challenge, because you can only be challenged this way when you have another individual or another party, be it, you know, business-wise, be it relationship, be it family, be it friend, be it romantic. They all have their unique challenges. When you add another energy to it, who do you team up with? Who do you pair with? You know, what strengths do you bring? How well do you complement each other? There's a reason why this particular situation has arisen for you. And it is so not dead. It is very muchly alive. And it almost like a victory lap kind of a thing, or I don't know about victory lap. I have this image of like New York. I can't remember exactly what clip it was from, but there was just so much celebration when the war was over. It was black and white originally. That kind of a thing. Just loving life. Just, oh, such a beautiful energy. Okay, so moving into the element of air, this is what you know. And what you know is that as a result of having unified completely within self, you know that truth, that you tell the story of your life. Nobody speaks your experience to you, and you're just expected to go along with it. Nobody does that. No energy. You don't let it. You recognize it as other. You're now aware of your connection, not just fully within self, but to everyone and everything around you. None of it is separate from you, but you do set boundaries with it. You are a unique individual spark of the divine. And love is the only thing that is true. If you feel your energy expand when you encounter another energy, if it's just, you immediately start to smile, that's truth, that's divine. You're meant to be in that space, in that moment, in that time, to live that joy. But if you feel yourself kind of condensing down your energy and pulling within yourself, there is something about that environment that is not of truth. If you find yourself in those situations, you are being challenged to hone your discernment. And this is something that has been cultivated. Wherever you are at this point in this reading, whether you're definitely in the earth position or you're within air with what you know, what you understand, what you're learning, and moving into the other elements to come, there is much to learn from each placement. If you start in earth, maybe in a couple months you're going to be in water. But you'll have a heads up. This is what's particularly being highlighted. For what you know is that you're connected. You are unique. You are separate in the concept of being aware of being an individual, but you're aware that you're connected to all that is. So this highlights the need for developing boundaries. If you have not already drawn some boundaries in the sand, maybe you need to reinforce them. Or it could be that the boundaries that you have set have put some energetic things in motion for you with healing and transmuting that are affecting all of those around you that you're connected to. Quantum entanglement, right? Spooky action at a distance. Oh, I almost said at addiction. Oh boy. In the assertive energy, what I am getting here with the Ten of Wands upright and the Nine of Swords inverted, if there are, any addictions present, it is because you've been carrying this very heavy burden, just waiting for that signal to act, waiting. And these addictions, like, we could be addicted to food, we could be addicted to exercise. Human beings are somewhat wired to be addicted to things that make their brain experience a very good, euphoric experience, to bathe your brain in happy chemicals. Well, we will pursue that experience again and again. So whatever these addictions are, these habits, it's putting them down. In this Ten of Wands, say if there is one wand in there that is hidden amongst the bundle, and the moment that this individual carrying these 10 wands on their back gets that signal, oh, they go right for their wand, and they carry out their mission, their plan. But carrying all, 10 wands is very heavy when really they only want the one, right? And how long have they been holding this weight? So it's putting that down is incredibly freeing, which is why we have the Nine of Swords inverted. There were a lot of sleepless nights, a lot of anxiety, just, as I picked up with that Seven of Pentacles in the earth position. Just a lot of anxiety about timing, which tells me that if this signal has not been received, it is the anticipation of receiving it and the relief of this anxiety. However, I do feel that the majority of those watching, listening, tuning in, it is that this message has been received. This signal has been received. And that this anxiety that would keep the individual up at night, you up at night, stuck in it, do I act or do I not act? Do I act? Do I not act? That's a thing of the past now. It's a thing of the past. In the receptive energy, there is a balancing of the shadow self, the healing, the integration of that, the owning of your shadow side, of understanding all that's in your subconscious and your willingness to show love for that part of yourself, even if there are still some surprises there. It's a pretty vast place. There's a lot that our minds have been exposed to in our lives, and it all is there. That language of love through habit of how you communicate with yourself, relate to yourself, has reassured every aspect of you, predominantly your subconscious, that you will act with self-love to heal, not to harm. To heal, to empower. And that has really galvanized all this weight behind you and allowed that unification within self. And this has definitely been something that you have been guided to. That divine within you, your higher self, your future self, your awareness of all that is, has been guiding you through your intuition, through your sense of what is true, what is right, what allows you to expand. You have been honing that awareness, and because of that, this heavy burden no longer needed to be carried. It could be put down. Paired with this Temperance card here with the receptive side is the Three of Pentacles upright. Both are upright. Temperance could come out inverted and just be spun right upright. There is a co-creation present, and a sense of, contributing what you desire, but not knowing the other pieces to it. Not knowing what the second pentacle desires exactly, and what they're contributing, and knowing that there's a bit of a mystery for them too as to what you're contributing and what you're manifesting and what you're desiring. And then there's that third aspect. Really what is coming through very strongly here is a connection of family, of a unit, a family unit. Now family can be definitely blood related in the physical reality, could be soul family, but it can also be the individuals that you don't necessarily have a relation to, but they are family to you. You can rely on them every day like family. So family that you make. To know that that co-creation is safe, is going to be something that you get to enjoy. Makes it so you don't stay up all night stressed out, worried, and fretting anymore, because you feel that sense of celebration, that same energy present within the Six of Wands, of almost like a little kid on Christmas morning, rushing to the presents beneath the tree, wowed by everything. Yeah. Now from the higher perspective, so these are, your future self, higher self, the divine, guardians, the angels, the ancestors, what they are really wanting you to be aware of from their perspective, in what you know and what you understand, and what has taken place here is that we have a King of Swords upright. And what this particular card in this deck highlights is your solar plexus, your will, and discerning what you do want, what you don't want, communicating that in all the different ways you have available to you, what you will into being. This has been something that you have gained a mastery in this life, in this journey, that you maybe couldn't achieve in a previous experience, a previous life. But you have gained a mastery here. And what I'm getting is it's a mastery of surrender, which is interesting It's the concept of, you know what's right, you know what's true, but you look around you and there's all these factors and all these elements that are kind of trying to make you think that the only thing you can choose is this one path that is just so not feeling right to you, because you feel your energy immediately, even contemplating taking that path, shutting down, condensing, pulling in, restricting. But all these energies really, really, really want you to think logically that's the only way you could go. And that's why, like, the King of Swords is known for that, known for very logical, almost, you know, stoic an approach to everything, especially something that matters to this degree. But what you've mastered is the surrender to knowing that that's not the path, even if you are not able to answer these presented arguments, if you will, from these other energies around you. You know it's not the path. You know it's not what you're being guided to. Surrendering to that and knowing, trusting that that net will appear. When you act towards the path, it does make your energy expand and you be excited about your future. It's the King of Swords just before he becomes the Emperor. And this is telling me that this King of Swords, like, they mastered the King of Swords. You mastered your King of Swords. So you are moving into Emperor. If you're moving into Emperor, you are Emperor. So that's like a congratulations, because it takes a lot of power to surrender when you have all of that logic that you've mastered up to the King of Swords level. It takes a lot of love, self-love, love for others, courage, bravery. Because you're at this point, you're not doing this for add a boy or add a girl. You're doing this because it's the right thing to do for you, even if you don't have logic for it. You know it to be true. The ultimate leap of faith, if you will. Beautiful. So much strength in that. So much strength. You don't get to be a King of Swords if you haven't embraced your inner stubbornness. And stubbornness can be your greatest ally, but it could also be a weakness. You decide. You decide. For the placement of fire, this is your will. This is perfect, moving in from that King of Swords with that solar plexus energy. Owning that you know yourself better than anyone. That you are your own best friend. That no one will love you like you, understand you like you. You are your greatest companion, your best friend. So taking this physical life and wanting to enjoy every aspect of the mix, of the experience of it, of the possibilities when you actively participate in creating different mixes of experience by adding ingredients intentionally. Assertive energy being highlighted here is what once appeared to be, you know, it's a Ten of Swords inverted. So what once appeared to be a dead end apparently no longer is. You have taken that ending and you have done everything you can to flip that Ten of Swords from upright to inverted, and you've done it. You've done it by loving yourself. Paired with the Ten of Swords inverted is the Three of Wands. You were aware there were other paths. You were aware of that, but you knew the truth. You knew the one that got you feeling like your future was one you couldn't wait to live. You were excited about it. You were driven by it. It felt true. And you added elements to every situation that you encountered along this path through trial and error, knowing what worked and what didn't, to bring you closer to that path, reaching the destination that you manifested at the beginning of it. Firmly planted in earth, what's solid and immovable, that foundation is solid. And there's so much intuition and emotion and awareness between you and the other side of the journey of this. And that was all you could focus on, was getting from there to there, knowing you had the ability to do that because you desired it with your personal will. Excuse me. Such passion here. And the receptive energy we have here is the Empress. And then we have the Empress inverted, and then we have the King of Wands upright. This is a bit of an echo, yet again, of what once was, just like with the inverted star. And the Six of Wands reinforcing this, the second time, the second chance. The Empress is something, is an energy within you that is there. It is there. You're aware it's there, whether it's, something that you are aware of within, another individual in a dynamic or a situation. You were aware that that abundance was present. It was just locked within you or within them. And that the first time around, you were led to believe that this abundance would never unlock. It would never unlock. It was done. But obviously that is not the truth. Obviously that is not the truth. Because of that Six of Wands, it most certainly is not the truth. So this Empress energy, I believe, came out inverted simply to highlight that. Upright. You have cultivated the self-love. You have owned your discernment through this experience, this journey. You have owned your personal power, your will, through your cultivation of that knowledge and observation and discernment. You have unlocked that Empress energy within you, or facilitated that energy being unlocked within another energy within the situation that is really resonating with this for you. With that King of Wands, there is the sense of a very masculine presence that had that balancing, with that unification as well within, mirrored back to you. Where the crown didn't matter. The crown, the perks, what everybody thinks of them, the ego. The ego was put down. Not murdered, not killed, no, just leading life through wounded ego was not worth losing this Empress. So this energy, this masculine energy present in a receptive state, decided, both the ego and, their conscious self, higher self, subconscious, the inner child, they all decided that ego, especially the ego, decided that they could not lead their life making decisions from a space of ego. That consciousness, conscious aware self, needed to take that authority, because all of this energy was not okay with not having that Empress energy. Kind of a, you know, if the world were to end tomorrow, who would you want standing beside you? Even if obviously you're losing everything, who would you want to stand beside you? That willingness, that awareness that if it were to end tomorrow, this energy is receptive, owning, aware, receiving this awareness because they've unified within themselves. And none of it matters without you. None of that matters without that, without having their life witnessed by someone that they know they're meant to be with. Words, sometimes they're just not enough to express something so grand. We try. The closest we come to it is love. But it is something that on this journey you learn that there aren't words for it. And it begins with loving yourself in all the ways you love yourself. And then you learn about loving yourself by learning about who you are in relationship to other people. And you learn that only so, like, certain people can unlock different aspects of you for you to learn, for you to know, for you to heal. From the higher perspective, you know, kind of coming down and highlighting for you in this position that advice, what to focus on, what they're wanting you to know is that every single aspect of your life, every single moment, you are never alone. You are always in relationship with yourself. Always. Even if you're able to turn off, you're aware you're turning off. You're never alone. You always have yourself. And this placement specifically in this reading is something that you have co-created with that divine spark within you, with possibly other quantum entangled souls, individuals that you have contracts with. You have co-manifested this. You have signed off on every beautiful, bright, sparkly, amazingly happy aspect. But you've also cultivated and integrated your shadow. And that's not to say that any of the things that were unfair within that shadow were okay or somehow forgivable for them. They're forgivable for you. To forgive for you is to allow yourself to enjoy that brightness, that part of yourself that you now know. The concept of how do you understand light if you don't know darkness? How do you understand contrast? If you look at the universe, at space, it is a constant awareness of the eternal state of contrast. Know that in your life, right now, you have willed this beautiful creation, co-creation into your life. And you've been through a lot, but now you're collecting that karma. Because in spite of all of that darkness and that hurt, you still reached for the light. You still desired it. Even though you at times had every reason to not believe in it anymore. You still believed. You still believed. And that is, it's a lot of strength within that. And stubbornness. Stubborn seems to be a consistent. You were able to take that stubbornness and make it an asset instead of a weakness. Make it your strength instead of your weakness. Okay, so moving into the element of water. This is a call to share what you have learned, your experience with others. Not just in the quantum entanglement where you understand how it works and you overcome it and you heal it, and now that's out there in the consciousness, the field of awareness. This is a call to actually physically in your reality act it out, share it, allow others to begin the dialogue with you, to teach. If it's through living by example, model it. That is incredibly a profound way of teaching, leading by example. If it is to start a business, if it is to actively move into a role where you are presenting your knowledge in a teaching role, however that may manifest for you, that is that thing that you've maybe been a little shy about, maybe been a little uncertain about doing. Do it. You'll learn as you go what works and what doesn't. You'll understand how you want to do things a little bit differently next time. You'll always be the student, but you are also the teacher as well. So in the assertive energy that we have here, we have the King of Pentacles and the Eight of Pentacles. Oh boy. Yep. There's been this, you've really kind of been on that fence with that. You've been holding back doing so. And I think it's because, and it's wise, honestly. I think it's because you wanted to be, really elevated beyond that influence where external energy influence karmic people were speaking your life to you as though they determined how your story would be told. You wanted to really elevate beyond that to a state of celebration and excitement and exuberant awareness of just how free you are to tell your story. Through that cultivation of that discernment, you knew that if you were to act towards this creation with your intuition, because this speaks to your intuition, this is your soul mission, this is your light work, this is why you're here. So there's a lot of passion and you're very protective of it. You knew to prematurely step into that would give access to these energies to narrate that gift, to narrate how it would be presented. So you held back. Now, you don't need to do that. You can give that pentacle knowing that you've mastered every level of it. You're the king. We have three kings out here. We have the King of Swords, the King of Wands, and we have the King of Pentacles. So we need the King of Cups. And then we would have the Emperor. So you can give that pentacle, that investment, that energy, that awareness that By doing so, you would be made a little vulnerable, but you would be moving from working on it to only needing one more pentacle, which would be this pentacle brought to the situation by a partnering, co-creating energy. Be that, receptive or assertive or masculine or feminine, be it any kind of way that this is particularly presenting itself as resonating for you, that other energy brings their contribution. So you in this position, you're at the Nine of Pentacles. You are. And the Nine of Pentacles in the traditional tarot, it's like the Queen of Pentacles in waiting, the Empress in waiting. The Empress in waiting. A lot of times she's presented as pregnant with abundance. So it's the approaching of your Empress in waiting. It's approaching that abundance, knowing that it's safe to do so. Oh, no wonder why you're so excited. No wonder why you're so celebratory. I'm excited for you. You have the green light here. In the receptive energy, we have the Six of Swords and the Tower. Both are upright. So Six of Swords, traditionally, it speaks to moving into calmer waters. In this particular image, there are, the symbolism for thoughts. There's 3 of those in the past that are being left behind. And then there's 3 that are pulling the boat forward. And she's tired, she's cold, she's exhausted. And everything's kind of dull in color, but she's got this brilliant red shawl. Like, she knows who she is. She knows where she's going. And even if she doesn't know all the details to this 3 of Pentacles that was spoke about in the air placement, she knows that it's something that she co-created. So whatever's been contributed by the other 2 Pentacles, they're mirroring her. So she wants happiness and joy, and she wants good things because, why not? Why would she assume that they wouldn't be contributing desires of anything but good things as well? And it's fitting that the higher perspective coming down into this physical reality situation, because we're spiritual beings having a physical experience, is the Fool. And the Fool is like this traveler, like hiking, and it's like they didn't quite know they'd end up here and they're a little lost, and this beautiful white wolf is before them. Wolves can have a very specific meaning to you. The white wolf, also possibly lone wolf, alpha, omega. That wolf knows exactly where to go. It's very obvious in everything about how the wolf is holding themselves, and the individual, this hiker, is looking to this Fool. It almost speaks to me of the Lover's card, with how, is it the Lover's card? It could also be a bit of Judgment too, where you have the visual representation of the masculine looking to the feminine and the feminine looking to the divine. So the white wolf knows true north, and this hiker, a bit lost, now knows that it can follow this white wolf because the white wolf knows the way. Just beautiful. That intuition, that connection, being in relationship with self, with that spark, with that the divine, that connection. There's a lot of change coming, but it's filled with new beginnings. This is change that you have desired and wanted. You're upgrading in so many ways. So many ways. And this is the reading for the collective today. I may go in and do some more in-depth aspects to some of the energies here. If you feel called to have a little more clarification at any point of this reading, specifically with the mirroring present here in the second time around kind of thing, I would look back to see the readings that were posted in and around this particular one in the time. But yet again, just whatever resonates with you, follow that intuition, follow that white wolf. And if you're the white wolf, you know your true north. All right. The divine in me honors the divine in you. Namaste.